Welcome back to the channel that teaches you guys how to create content in the quickest way possible. Today I'm going to be answering the question, what is the effects control panel in Adobe Premiere Pro? So once you guys open up Adobe Premiere Pro, you're going to actually need some sort of footage. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new color mat, drop that into our timeline here, and now you can see the effects control panel opened up. If you guys don't see the effects control panel, you can come up to Window and make sure effects control is highlighted here, okay? There's a pre-made shortcut. You can also press Shift 5 to get the effects control panel up. So we're going to go over a couple things on the effects control panel that I have broken up into separate tutorials on this channel for those of you that are after one specific thing. But the main thing we're going to be covering is position, scale, rotation, opacity. All right. Blend mode, it's a little more complicated when you start using overlays and things like that. So the introduction to the effects control panel is going to just be these two. All right. So for the purpose of this video, I'm going to actually create another color mat. Let's just pick a random color here and drop this guy over. Okay. So now we have two layers in our timeline. We're going to click on the top layer and we're going to start experimenting with some of this motion so that I can show you guys how to get creative with this. All right, so the position, okay, 1920 by 1080 is the size of our sequence and the position of this red color mat. Now, if I wanted to move it to the left, I would drag the position of the dial on the left, okay, so that I could, create I could move it over if I wanted to. Let's say I was making a presentation or something along those lines, and I wanted to have two layers. Now you could do this with 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, but that's going to be moving right and left. Now the dial on the right is going to be moving up and down. You're going to drag this to the left if you want it to move up, or drag it to the right if you want it to move down. You can also type in specific values. So as you get better at this, you'll understand and realize that I can go, 2880, if I want this specific height on the color mat, all right? And then of course you can say reset parameter, and that's gonna reset your, whatever layer you're affecting's motion back to the original. All right, scale is gonna be the next thing. So scale, we can type in 50%. Now it's gonna make the color mat 50% of the size. And of course, we can press reset parameter. Now you can utilize both as well. You can go 50, and you can also move the position if you'd like to. And then for each of these guys, you can also set keyframes. So you can say, okay, at this point in time, I would like this box to be here, and then I'm gonna move up a little bit further, and I wanna increase the size of it and move it over, okay? And then if we come back to the beginning, we can play this, and you can see how now you've been able to control the position and the scale using the effects control panel and motion to actually create some change in your video. All right, you guys, so really cool stuff there. The goal is to show you guys this so you can get creative with this process. So let's go ahead and revert this. Next, we are going to go to rotation. All right, rotation, it's all pretty straightforward once you get the idea of it. Moving your cursor, rotating to the right is going to move it clockwise, and then to the left is counterclockwise. Again, you can utilize your keyframe toggle animation to change the amount of rotation of that layer. And as you guys will see, that will then change your animation that you are creating. All right. Last thing we're going to go over is the opacity. Okay, so the opacity, let's go to the very beginning, and let's say the opacity is going to be 0. So opacity is how much of this layer is going to show. Okay, if we wanted the white color mat, its opacity to be 0 as well, then we're left with, what's black and what's underneath. Okay, but I'm going to change that. We're going to bring it back to 100. So opacity can be very useful if you want things to appear in your shot, for example. If you want them to dissolve or fade out, if you're adding text or creating thumbnails where you want there to be like a low opacity image in the background, And you can also utilize keyframes again. So let's say at this point in time, we want our red color matte to be at 0. We're going to click the toggle animation. And we're going to say at this point in time, I want it to be at 100. We can go back to the beginning, press play, and watch as the red color matte slowly appears. If you guys can see that, all right? Now, if we want to reset this guy to 100, let's go ahead and delete the existing keyframes and then look at the blend mode on opacity. I will just go over this very quickly. You guys have the option when bringing in overlays or utilizing things to play with these different blend modes, okay? Now everything, all of these are going to be different, and the reason why I'm not going over them too in depth in this tutorial is with color mattes, you know, really selecting it to screen or overlay will have it disappear. The other ones don't do all too much. You can't really see the full effects of this blend mode tab until you're actually like using footage or overlays or light leaks or flares or things of that sort. But that can be fun to play with as well. So if you guys didn't know this and now you know it, you have so much more to work with when creating videos in Adobe Premiere Pro. And guys, that is the goal of this channel. So please drop a like on this video if you learned anything new or if it helped you out. Comment below if you have future requests for tutorials. This channel is very small, so if you guys do have any requests, I will 100% get to them quickly. And then subscribe to this channel. I would greatly appreciate every subscriber counts, and thank you guys so much for tuning in.